Okay, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be taking a look at eternal reality, which sounds super out there, but actually when you dig into it, it's
Yeah.
a pretty practical way to look at things. And it was put forward by Jason Roy Llewelyn-Miller, and he was inspired by Terrance Howard, who you might remember from Iron Man.
Yes, indeed.
And the core of it, like the basic idea, is that you are not some separate entity just existing in this universe, but rather you're an integral part of a single conscious matrix.
Yes.
Like one big consciousness that we're all a part of. And your thoughts and actions, what you're doing here, isn't just happening in a vacuum. Like you're actually participating and shaping
Right.
the reality that you experience.
Exactly. You're a participant. You're not just an observer. You're in it. You're creating it.
Okay, so for you listening, what we're going to try and do in this deep dive is unpack the main principles, the actionable steps, and just really give you a better understanding of how this might apply to your own life.
Absolutely.
And maybe even make you feel like you have more control or
Yeah.
agency over what's happening in your life, but without getting too complicated about it.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll start by exploring kind of the foundational ideas and then dive into, I guess you could say, the science behind it, but not overly scientific. And then really, how can you at home actually put these principles into practice? What can you do? What can you do every day?
All right, so let's jump right into the foundational ideas. First up is this concept of universal consciousness and the eternal now. These sound like big, sort of
They do.
abstract ideas. Can you break that down a little bit?
Yeah. So the idea is that reality doesn't exist in a way where we're moving from the past through the present into a fixed future. That reality actually exists in a perpetual present moment, the eternal now. The past is simply our memories of what has happened. And the future is, well, we don't really know. It's our anticipation of what might happen.
So it's all just happening right now.
It's all just happening right now.
Okay, so that's a little bit of a mind bend, but how does this eternal now, this present moment thing, how does that tie into our ability to make choices and to create our experience?
Every decision you make, right, is a fresh starting point. It's not you walking along a predetermined path. Each decision is a point of creation. It's a new trajectory.
It's a constant reset.
It's a constant reset.
Okay, I love that. And this is making me think of that old saying, as a man thinketh, so is he.
Yeah.
Is that just a coincidence, or is that actually tied into this whole eternal reality thing?
No, not at all. Llewelyn-Miller, he actually calls out that proverb in his book. He says this is actually a key principle of this whole framework.
Yeah.
The idea that your dominant thought patterns, the mental habits you constantly engage in, they're not just passive thoughts.
Right.
They're actively contributing to shaping who you are and the circumstances that unfold in your life.
It's like it matters what you think.
Absolutely. Your thoughts have a tangible effect on the world.
Okay, so thoughts really matter. So let's get into this physics of manifestation, which sounds a little out there, but let's see what it is. There's this formula which really stood out to me. Action plus intentions, X, visualization, verbal affirmations, plus burning desire, X sequence manifestation.
About
Okay, so there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Let's break this formula down piece by piece so we can really get it. Let's start with action plus intentions, which is the magnetic force, right?
Yes. So action, it's about, actually doing something.
Right.
Putting your will into the physical world.
Not enough to just wish for something. You got to go and do it.
It has to be grounded.
Right, but it's not enough to just do stuff randomly.
We need direction.
Purpose, right?
Exactly, intention.
Yeah.
And that intention acts like a quantum attractor. The idea here is that your focused intentions, your purpose, your why, that draws in similar frequencies to you. It's like turning into a specific radio station.
Okay.
That's what your intentions do. It attracts those similar frequencies to you.
So it's purposeful action.
Purposeful action.
Driven by a clear intention.
That's the magnetic force.
Okay, all right. Next is visualization, verbal affirmations. And this is the electrical discharge.
Yes.
I'm really curious about this division sign here. So first, what are they?
So visualization is all about mentally preparing. It's about using the power of your mind's eye to see, to feel, to really experience what you want as if it's already happening.
Okay, so it's not just like
Yeah.
seeing a still image. It's like
It's feeling it,
really feeling it.
embodying it, yeah, stepping into that reality.
And then what about verbal affirmations?
So verbal affirmations, that's using the power of language.
Okay.
The idea here is that words carry vibrational frequencies. And when you speak your desires out loud, when you use positive affirmations, you amplify those desires, you solidify your beliefs.
It's like putting it out there.
Put it out there, exactly.
But what's with the division? Why visualization divided by verbal affirmations?
So the division symbol here is really interesting. It's emphasizing the importance of being specific
Okay.
in your vision.
Okay.
So the clearer, the more focused your visualization is, the more effectively your verbal affirmations can target that precise outcome.
So it's not just like vague
don't-
visualizations. You have to be specific.
Specific, absolutely. The tighter the focus, the more potent that energy becomes.
So clear vision, spoken words for
Max impact.
impact.
Exactly.
Okay, and then the last part of the formula, plus burning desire X feeling.
The thermodynamic catalyst.
It sounds like the real engine here. So break this down for us.
So desire provides the fuel. It's that passion, that drive, that thing that makes you want to achieve something. But the feeling, that's the ignition. That's what sets it all in motion.
Okay.
And the feeling you want to connect to is the feeling of already possessing what you want.
So it's not just about like casually wanting it. It's like really
you
trying
gotta
to feel it.
Yeah, that emotional resonance, that's the key.
So you got to feel the joy, feel the gratitude, feel the excitement. Like you already got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And now this leads into this really key point about habits.
Right.
Like we can want things all we want, but it's really our habits that
Yeah.
shape our reality.
It's our ingrained habits,
Yeah.
those automatic behaviors that we do without even thinking.
Yeah, and if those habits are going against our goals, if we're not aligned,
Self-sabotage.
then we're going to sabotage ourselves.
Exactly. It's like wanting to be healthy,
Yeah.
but still eating junk food every day.
Yeah.
Your subconscious is going to win that battle every time.
Yeah, those cravings are going to
Yeah.
hard to fight.
Hard to fight by. So the point here is like we got to master our thoughts, which then leads to mastery over our habits. And then ultimately that leads to
Mastery over reality.
mastery over our reality. It all starts with those.
It all starts with the thoughts. Yeah, okay, so that's the foundational stuff. But there's some fascinating connections here to different areas of study, you know, that kind of underpin this whole thing. And in our outline, we had the science and wisdom behind it. So let's jump into quantum mechanics, neuroscience, and ancient wisdom. So, starting with quantum mechanics, there's this observer effect. Now, what this is, basically, is that the way that quantum particles behave is dependent on whether they're being observed or not. So, the way I understand it is like, if you're not looking at the particles, they're just
They're in this weird
sort of existing in this
Like,
blurry state.
probability.
Yeah.
Like almost all possibilities at once.
Right, and it's the act of looking at them, of observing them,
It collapses the possibility.
that causes them to become a specific thing.
Exactly, into a specific state.
So how does that relate to us
Right.
in this whole eternal reality
Okay,
thing?
so the connection is your focused attention. It's like you are observing your own reality. Like where you direct your mental energy,
Right.
what you focus on, those become the possibilities that collapse into your actual lived experiences. So the more attention you give to something, the more you're bringing it into your reality. It's not just passively.
It's like whatever you're
Sticking it.
focused on, you're giving it energy.
Yeah.
You're making it real.
Yeah.
Okay, so attention is power. Then moving on to neuroscience, we have neuroplasticity.
Yes.
And this is all about how our brains are wired and how habits form.
Yeah, neuroplasticity is incredible. It's the brain's ability to actually change its physical structure throughout life. So every time you think a thought, every time you experience an emotion, every time you engage in a behavior, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with those things.
Okay.
So the more you do something,
Yeah.
the more ingrained it becomes.
So it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Exactly. But the good news is this. If you can change your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors, you can build new pathways.
And it's not like we're stuck.
You're not stuck.
You can change.
You can rewire your brain. It's never too late.
Okay, that's encouraging. And finally, there's this concept of the law of resonance, which draws on ancient wisdom.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
So the law of resonance basically suggests that you attract what you vibrate with. It's like, imagine tuning forks. You strike one tuning fork, and if there's another one nearby that's tuned to the same frequency, it will start to vibrate too.
So if we're focusing on negativity, if we're feeling down,
If you're constantly feeling lack, fear, scarcity, guess what? You're going to attract more of that.
but if we shift our focus, if we start feeling gratitude, abundance, then we're gonna...
You're going to attract more of that. You raise your vibration.
Okay.
You attract higher frequency experiences.
So we gotta vibrate high.
Yeah.
All right, so that's quantum physics, neuroscience, ancient wisdom, all tying into this.
All connected.
Now, let's get to the part that everybody's waiting for, which is the practical application.
Yes.
What can we do with this? The outline mentions this 3-minute reality shift. So what is that?
So this is a quick, simple practice you can do every single day. Only takes 3 minutes. 4 simple steps.
Right?
Step 1. Visualize your desired reality. Really see it, feel it, experience it as if it's already happening.
Okay, so this is like
This is where you get immersed in yourself.
immerse yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Engage all your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you feel?
Okay.
Step 2. Speak a power affirmation out loud.
Okay.
A short, positive statement reflecting your desired outcome in the present tense. So for example, I am abundant. Money flows to me effortlessly.
Make sure that it's an affirmation that you connect
It
with.
resonates, yeah. Something that feels true and empowering for you.
Okay, so visualize, affirm, what's next?
Step 3. This is the most important step. Feel the emotion.
Okay.
Really connect with the feeling of already having that reality. The joy, the gratitude, the excitement.
So you have to go with it.
Feel it.
Yeah.
All right, and last step.
Step 4.
Yeah.
Take one small, immediate action that aligns with your desired reality.
Okay, so it's not enough to
It's not enough to just,
visualize and affirm. You gotta
do something.
take action.
Take action, even if it's small, even if it's just sending an email, making a phone call, doing some research.
Why is that action step so important?
It's a way of grounding your intention
Okay.
in the physical world. It shows your commitment.
Okay.
It signals to your subconscious that you're serious about this.
So thought, word,
Yeah.
feeling, action.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it. So that's the 3-minute reality shift. Now, we've also talked about habits
Yes.
and how they can be kind of tricky. So what about those ingrained habits that are holding us back?
Well, there's this habit override technique, which can be really helpful. It's a 3-step process for rewiring those automatic patterns.
Okay.
Step 1, identify the habit you want to change. So is it procrastination? Is it negative self-talk? Is it constantly checking your phone? Whatever it is, become aware of it.
We all got some of those.
I have them.
All right, so identify the bad habit.
Identify it.
Yeah.
Step 2, consciously replace it with a new positive ritual.
Okay.
So for example, if you notice yourself engaging in negative self-talk, stop yourself
Yeah.
and say a positive affirmation. I am capable, I am worthy, and then follow it up with an action that reinforces that belief.
So you're interrupting the bad habit and immediately replacing it
Interrupt and replace.
with something positive. And what's the third step?
Step 3 is repetition. You've got to do this consistently
Okay.
for at least 21 days, ideally longer, to really rewire those neural pathways,
Put training.
train your brain.
Exactly.
And there were some really interesting biblical connections to this.
Yeah.
Like, what about this walking by faith and not by sight?
So walking by faith and not by sight speaks to that idea of acting in alignment with your desired future, even when your current reality doesn't reflect it.
Like, you have to believe it. Believe it.
Even if you can't
Even if you can't see it.
see it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And then there's the concept of calling those things that are not as though they were,
Yeah.
which highlights the power of your words, of your affirmations, to actually shape your reality.
So it's like what you say matters. What you believe matters.
It does.
Okay, and the last tool in our arsenal here is this eternal now decision hack.
Yes.
So what's this about?
So this is a simple 3-step approach to make more aligned decisions. Every time you have a decision to make, big or small, ask yourself this question. Does this choice align with my highest reality?
So it's like a filter
It's a filter.
for your choices.
It is.
Okay.
If the answer is yes, great, proceed with confidence. If the answer is no, or even if you're unsure, pause, reconsider.
That's a really good point. Like, don't just react.
Don't just react. Take a breath.
Take a minute.
And then the third step is act as if your future self, the version of you that's already living in that highest reality, act as if they are making this decision.
So it's like embodying that best version of yourself.
That's you.
And again, there were some really interesting connections to scripture here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the idea of seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Yeah.
It aligns with this. It's about prioritizing your highest aspirations. Focus on that, and the rest will follow.
Okay.
And then life and death are in the power of the tongue. Emphasizes that your words, your choices, your intentions, they have real creative power.
So every choice we make is actually shaping our reality.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we covered a lot of ground here. What are the big takeaways?
Okay, the main thing to remember is that you are not just a passive observer of reality. You are an active co-creator. You are shaping your experience with your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. And those tools we talked about, those are just a few practical ways that you can start to consciously engage in that creation process.
And they're actually pretty simple, right? Like, anybody can
simple but powerful.
Do this.
Absolutely. Okay, and don't forget that final equation.
Consciousness X, choice plus emotion possibilities.
And that's the power.
That's the habit.
That habit.
It's the compounding effect of making those choices and feeling those emotions consistently over time.
So it's like even small choices, when they're done consistently, can really create huge change.
All right, for you listening, here's a final thought to ponder. If this is true, if you are the universe experiencing itself right now, in this present moment, what is one small choice you can make right now that will shape the reality you experience in the next moment? Think about that. And maybe explore one of these techniques we talked about today. See what happens.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
You got it.